Good morning, good morning. I'm gonna wait till some people pop in here because it just went live. So hello. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna let some people come on in, give people a minute, and hopefully that you don't hear that noise too loud. That it is a blower outside from the landscaper. Hopefully that ends pretty soon. If not, we'll improvise. But so glad to have you all here today for today's live. So let's see, we got like 90 people on Instagram already and like 86 on Facebook. Fantastic. And you guys know the drill. You're already saying where you're from. Fantastic. Yes, I love seeing where you're from. We got Washington State. We got Kansas. We have a really loud blower outside, or at least it's loud to me. Is it loud to you guys? Can you guys hear it really like super loud? Like I. Oh, we got the UK. I wonder what time it is there. Good morning, good morning. So glad you could all join us here. Hello from England. Fantastic. So loud. We're gonna roll with it. What other choice do we got? Vegas, Tucson, South Dakota, New Jersey. It's not super bad. Thank you, Leslie. All right. North Carolina, Michigan. Fantastic. Just going to give people one more minute so they don't miss anything. Just a little background so you know. We're on Facebook and Instagram right now, which is the first time I've done both. We are horizontal on Facebook and vertical on Instagram, which means you can't all see the same thing, and I'm going to do my best to hold things up, but please bear with me. And oh, I see hi from Nate. Hi, Nate. Mommy loves you. Rachel is on Facebook, and we'll be answering any questions you have and you ask on Facebook. And Leslie Meltzer, who is one of my pattern testers and editors, who knows almost everything there is to know about Jaybird Quilts, is over on Instagram. So if you have questions that I don't see, because sometimes they pop up really quick, and I'll often be back here to show you things, and I can't read the screen from back here, Leslie will be there on Instagram to answer your questions. And yeah, so let's do the official. We got a bunch of people now, so let's do the official intro. Hi, good morning, or good afternoon wherever you are. Good evening, maybe. It's morning here in California, and today we are here to celebrate the release of Quilts for Baby and Beyond. So this is a dummy. Don't think I have the book yet, unfortunately. It is getting printed right now, but this is the cover of the book, and this book is super close to my heart, which I will go over as I talk about each of the quilts. But this book is going to start shipping on May 5th. Everything is made with the Super Sidekick, and if you're familiar with my patterns, this is going to seem so common to you, but if you are new to my patterns, this was designed with you in mind. There are ton of basics in the beginning of the booklet, it is chock full of all of that good stuff to kind of help you understand how my rulers work and how all of my Jaybird patterns are written and all of that. So I always say super excited, but that I am. I'm really excited to share more about this with you today. So I am Julie of Jaybird Quilts, and this is Quilts for Baby and Beyond. And there are 12 projects in this book. There are 9 quilts and 3 pillows. And let's just jump right on in. Okay, so the Super Sidekick Ruler, for those who are not familiar, I'm going to walk up so you can see it a little more. So the Super Sidekick Ruler cuts 3 shapes in 3 sizes. It cuts a diamond, a triangle, and a half triangle. And it cuts all of them in 8 sizes. So using strips, we're going to start with 1.5 inch strips all the way to 8.5. So it gives lots of possibilities. That being said, the book does include full-size templates, but the ruler really makes your life so much easier. Many of you are already familiar with this ruler from other patterns, or specifically Nebula, which is going on right now. So you may already have this. But yeah, it comes with full color directions itself, and there's full color directions in the book on how to cut all the shapes and specifics for each of the pattern. So there's our ruler. So I've already shown on Instagram and Facebook some of the quilts, but you definitely haven't seen the two behind, or one of the two behind me. So we'll talk about the one you already know. So this one is Color Wheel, and it is, sorry, I forgot to pin this. That was on my to-do list. It is a giant hexagon. Not all the quilts in the book are small for baby, they range, hence the name Baby and Beyond. I thought about, you know, I have a 2.5-year-old right now, and one that's coming any day, hopefully not too soon. But, you know, that one we photographed on the beach. It's great blanket size for everybody in the family. It's really good for teaching kids colors. And so there's a range of sizes in the book. So that one is called Color Wheel. And one of the other things that I did in the book is many of the quilts, such as this one, are done with Kona colors. And this is my sample proof, so it's like super extra thick. Your book will be normal thickness. But one of the things I did in the book that I'm excited to show you is I made you a Kona color guide. So this tells you for each of the quilts the exact colors that I used, so that if you want to use the exact same colors, you can do that. I also hope that shops are going to make kits, and when I find that information, I will begin to share that. But the exact colors that I use in my quilt are listed here in the book. Kona has a range of over 365 colors, which is fantastic, and I used many of them in many of the quilts in this book, and it, you know, gives you a good, well-rounded ability to do something like this, where there's 3, you know, different values in each of the color families. So that is Color Wheel. And if you have any questions regarding to anything, but specifically in Color Wheel anything, just go ahead and ask them, and Leslie or Rachel will answer that for you. If she doesn't, what did someone want to see closer? I don't know what they wanted to see closer, Leslie. Was it the book? What was it? Something. Can I show a closer shot of the cover? Yeah, I can show you a closer shot of the cover. The pictures are also on my Facebook and Instagram, so I don't know. I know this is going to show well on Facebook, but I can't tell. The Instagram's got like a 20-second delay, so I can't tell yet if you're going to be able to see this well on Instagram. But just quick background. These are all my son, Nate. For those of you who know Nate, and different ages. So he was 6 months old in this picture, 9 months old in this picture, 13 months old in this picture, and I think we figured out 19 or 20 months old in this picture. So these really are for baby and beyond. It's another reason why you'll notice they're really not pastel, because I think primary colors and bright and rainbows last much longer with children than just specific pastels. Someone did ask, can you pre-order the book from me? The answer is no. I do not sell direct. I really rely on quilt shops. Quilt shops are the lifeblood of our industry, and we wouldn't be anywhere without them. So there are many in-person local quilt shops as well as online quilt shops who will be carrying the book. I have posted the link to some of them that have already listed it for pre-order on Instagram, and you can see that in a highlight, and I'm going to be making a blog post soon with links. Or just call your local shop and say, hey, I heard about this book. Can you order me a copy? And they can. They can either order it direct from me or from one of the many distributors that I work with. But I really, really highly encourage you to support your shop, whether it's your local shop, whether you don't have a local shop and you have a specific online shop you're loyal to. Please support your shop. That's one of the many reasons I don't sell direct. So there's the book cover again. Okay, so we went over Color Wheel. Now this quilt that you see here, it's very big. I think it's 70 by 77, and it's called Cuddles. And it's one of my favorites in the book because it comes in 3 sizes. So this is the adult quilt, 70 by 77. And then the baby or child size, I believe, is 40 by 44. And standing here, they look like they're the same size I'm in, but I'm gonna quickly walk behind the couch and show you the difference when you see them up against each other. And then, they are the same pattern, different size shapes. So those are a larger shape from the ruler than this. And then to add to the trio, we have a doll quilt, or a quilt for your stuffy, In my case, my son loves to stick Elmo underneath this or a teddy bear. So the trio really works well for a mom, a dad, a grandparent, a guardian, a caregiver. That's why I named it the adult quilt, because it's not just mommy and me or daddy and me. It could be anything. And so it's a really good, and it also is, you know, say your kid falls in love with this one when they're little and you had that one and it used to be yours, you could give that one, and that one's big enough to take off to college with them or something, and it's the same quilt. So you can make all three individually, or you can go ahead and make all three at the same time in the same fabrics, in different fabrics. These are Splatter from Robert Kaufman, which is a basic. It's still around, so it's I love this print, and I backed it in the white version and I bound it in the white version. Yeah, so this is Cuddles, and this is one of the earlier quilts in the book. So the quilts are listed in the book in order of difficulty. We went from easiest to more complicated, so that if you are using it as a primer book, you know exactly where to start to build your skill set. I wouldn't say any of the quilts in the book are particularly hard, but some are harder than others. You look at something like this, and it has, what, 18 different fabrics, and it does have partial seams, no Y seams. There's no Y seams in anything in the book, but it does have partial seams, which is a little bit more of an advanced skill. It's not a small partial seam, it's pretty easy, but you know, that one, and it finishes as a hexagon, so you're gonna need to do hexagonal binding, which I give you step-by-step diagrams in the book. This, on the other hand, 2 fabrics, and it's a rectangle. Doesn't get much simpler. So this is Cuddles, and you'll notice also variety. Everything in the book is quilted by Teresa Silva. A variety of things. Some things like this are custom quilted, so she really made things stand out in a diamond shape or whatnot. And then this quilt and this quilt are pantograph, because not everything needs to be custom quilted. So I'll come up close to you guys so you can see. For instance, I have a variety on all of my personal quilts, but this is Cuddles, and here is the panto that Teresa did on it. And I love how it turned out. And this is the kind of thing that would work great for any small, medium scale, even possibly if you're doing the bigger one, large scale, you know, print that has a lot of color or a lot of activity like this one. My son really likes to look and point out the different splatters. That's a yellow splatter, that's a red splatter, that's an orange splatter. You could also do it in 2 solids. I have done it in 2 solids. Still need to get the binding on that one. But this is Cuddles. So I hope you enjoyed that one. If you have any questions, like I said, just go ahead, and Leslie or Rachel will catch you. And then real quick, I will show you the, this one was custom quilted, the doll one, because I just figured, why not? Let's show off some different things. So she's got some echoed triangles in here and some little swirls. I'm not very good at knowing all the quilting names. I'm not gonna lie. That is not my that's not my area of expertise. I'm good at the color selection and the designing and all of that stuff, but I leave the quilting up to the experts. So there is that one. And then just gonna go backwards a little bit now that we went over the 2 that are hanging up to the pillows. So the pillows start the book, because the pillows really are the foundation of learning the basics of shapes that are included on the ruler. And even though they're in the beginning and I give you fabric requirements and whatnot, they end up being great for scraps. So as you go your way through the book and make other quilts, don't forget to always come back to the beginning of the pillows, because you can make so many pillows out of the scraps. So the first 2 pillows in the book are a small and big triangle. And so here they are. So the small triangles, more triangles, obviously, but it works really great with scraps. And then the big triangles. And specifically, I did these in black and white because it's one of the first things that babies see. Babies see contrast before they actually see color. And so you might be looking at this like, it's not practical to have a white pillow around a kid. Might not be as practical, although everything's machine washable. It's quilts, they're meant to be used and loved. But these can be done scrappy and in so many things. Rachel actually just finished making this one in all pastels, and it's gorgeous, and it looks totally different from this one, and I love seeing that kind of stuff. And then the back is an area where you can also have fun. So here's the multicolor splatter, and then they have like a grayscale version of the splatter. You'll notice I use the splatter a lot throughout the book because it's one of my favorite basics, that it kind of seems timeless to me. And, you know, what kid doesn't love paint splatters? But these are not actually messy. So we have small and large triangles, and these are a really good primer for learning how to cut triangles from the ruler and how to cut half triangles. So we start out with these pillows, and then we have our zigzag pillow, which if Marianne's watching, this is all for Marianne. So I designed a long pillow like this 8-10 years ago for a blog that no longer exists. Totally different pattern, but very similar shape. And it really became handy for nursing and feeding the baby and doing things. And Marianne told me that one, she had printed it before it had disappeared off that blog, that it was like her go-to gift for a lot of people. And because it's kind of like a lumbar pillow, so you can use this, you know, behind your own back. I often use it like when I'm in a rocking chair or something, like on the side, and I have it partially curved. It's 12 by 30, I think, and so it's got some flexibility to it that most square pillows don't have. This one specifically uses scraps from a quilt that we will get to, and I'll show you. But this one is really, really fast and fun. Just diamonds, so one shape, just like similar to how Cuddles is mostly diamonds. And it really has so many possibilities of things you can do. You can also use it on your lap to hold baby. I know it can be hard sometimes to find pillow forms that are this size. So if you are struggling to find a pillow form, just go ahead and make your own. Cut 2 pieces of fabric, 12.5 inches by 30 inches of muslin, stuff it full of fiber fill that you either buy in a bag or from another old pillow form. Make your own pillow form. I do always suggest making pillow forms instead of stuffing pillows. All of my patterns are written as covers that come off of a pillow form, because that way you can wash the cover. If you just stuff the pillow, you got to spot clean, which kids are messy. So that can be harder. So everything I do is as a pillow cover so that you can pull the pillow form out and wash it. Same thing with these. And I avoid zippers on these pillows, especially for younger kids, because little tiny fussy things that they could get in the way of. I did put zippers recently on my pillows that I made my son, who is 2, and all he does is zip them and unzip them all the time. So slightly regretting that choice. But that is the 3 pillows that are in the book. So if you have any questions on the pillows, kids and husbands are messy. That is true. Go ahead and ask them. We're here to answer those questions for you. And now we will move on to the next quilt. And if you need me to go back to something, just let me know, and hopefully I will see your messages. I'm trying to catch them in between showing you guys stuff. So, next quilt in the book. I guess we should talk about this one because it's laying out and you can see it. So this one is near and dear to my heart, and I've shown a couple pictures of one of the 3 versions already, and it's one of my favorite all-time pictures of Nate, and I did put it on the cover of the book as a result, because, I mean, look at that kid. Fun fact about this picture, kids grow super fast. The quilt is not bound in this photo, and by the time the quilt was bound, which was like a week and a half later, he had learned how to crawl and would not stay in this position for a photo. So I had to do a little Photoshop of the batting in the background to just kind of make it continue off, because this was not bound, and kids are unpredictable. You're trying to get their picture. So this is Tummy Time All-Star, and like I said, this quilt is near and dear to my heart. So what this is designed for is if you have a baby in your life or a kid, one of the big things that they teach you to do in the beginning is tummy time, which is what he's doing in that picture, which is to strengthen their head and neck muscles. And so instead of laying them on their back all the time, you have to put them on their belly. Some kids like tummy time. Most kids don't like tummy time. So you have to do things to encourage them to be on their tummy and keep them happy. And part of that is, what are they looking at? So if they're just looking at a plain quilt, a muslin blanket on the floor, a swaddle, might not be as interesting. If they're looking at a star with points and all these rainbow colors, keeps their interest. So what I did was I used a busy but not super high contrast background and made a star of colors. And these Kona colors are included in the guide, just like all the other ones are. And you'll see this background specifically, it's like little molecules and letters. So as they grow, there's things for them to see in here. And now Nate, you know, he didn't know his letters, obviously, when he was doing tummy time at 3 months old, whatever. But now he goes, A, G, Y, N, K, you know, and he likes to point out the letters and still play on this. It's a good, I made it a hexagon because I love hexagons, and it's a good size to fit on the floor, either in place of your ottoman or coffee table that you would temporarily move out of the way when you have a baby, or anywhere else. You know, we're all often taught that quilts need to be squares or rectangles, and it's just not true. There's times for different shapes, and we even have a circle in this book, which I'm excited about. So this is Tummy Time All-Star, and so I have the white version, and then in the same solids, I have the black version, and it's amazing to see how the colors pop. It's the same exact 18 Konas in here, in the white and in the black, but the colors really look so different on white and on black. So I gave you guys multiple versions of quilts when I could, to show you options and possibilities. So this is the black one. And as I mentioned earlier, I hope there will be some shops that kit this. The Kona colors are listed in the book. As I find out shops that are kitting, I will list that information for you. So I'm going to drape the black and the white one so that you can hopefully kind of see and compare them a little bit. Okay. And this one I love. So this one itself is not pictured in the book, because this one I just recently finished. And this one is for my baby, this one. But this is made from all Tula Pink fabrics. 5 or 6 collections, deep in my stash. I've been hoarding some bolts for a long time, ordered some other bolts within the last 2 years, and you will have an opportunity to purchase a kit of this from one shop, because I'm sending all them my bolts, because I can't cut fabric anymore. And when that information is available, I will share it with you. There's a limited number of them, because like I said, some of these fabrics we've got, if you're a Tula junkie, we have Chipper, Slow and Steady, Eden, Zuma, Monkey Wrench, Pinkerville, Spirit Animal. Yeah, so we've got a variety in here of like old school Tula stuff. So this one I specifically made for my little baby that's on the way. And you can see how it works with prints. So I just picked a different rainbow. I just kept playing till I found the right 18 fabrics, in my opinion, that caused a nice rainbow. You don't have to do this in a rainbow. You could do this in 3 fabrics. You could do it in every other point. You could do so many options. I like the rainbow for entertaining the kids, and it's just also really pretty. And then I used the glitter litter, I think is what it's called, from Zuma in the background. But it shows you, same quilt, this one in prints, how it really still works. And then this one, so those 2 were custom quilted by Teresa, and this one I had her do a panto, and I expect this one to get super dirty and spit up on and loved and used, because specifically tummy time quilts will get spit up on, because they're on their belly, and they don't have much control yet. Am I having a baby girl? I don't know. I don't know, girl or boy, and I'm not going to find out till baby comes out. The general theme of most of the quilts I've made for baby feature aquatic lines, so Tula's Zuma, Saltwater, Neptune, Prince Charming. This one I just went with more of a rainbow because that's what I wanted to do, and I worked very hard to pull together the bolts so that some of you will be lucky enough to make this in the exact fabric. I wish I could make more of them, but as you know, it is hard to find and or hoard out of print fabric. So this is the Tummy Time All-Star in Tula Pink fabrics. Okay. So now I'm just gonna hop into the books, mostly in the order that they're listed in the book. Gonna take a real quick water break. Pardon me. Okay, so this next one is called Twice the Fun, and I've always had the idea in my head to do something like this, and this is what it kind of came together, which is 2 quilts in one. So somebody at your office is having twins, you need a baby quilt really fast and you want to have another one ready to go. This makes 2 quilts at once, and they're kind of like the reverse of each other. So 4 fabrics, 2 dominant, which are in this case the blue and the green, but they switch positions, and 2 supporting. The supporting ones are underneath, as well as the 2 bindings. So literally 4 fabrics plus backing. So this is Twice the Fun, and it is strip pieced and then rotary cut, and the assembly goes together really pretty fast. It's a nice, you know, smaller, good baby size. And then I did piece the back. That's another thing that there is some information in the book on how to piece your backs if you're interested, how to piece your labels in. That's something I haven't talked about recently, but is a big signature of mine. If anybody's been around a while, they know that I piece the labels in the back. Short reason why is if this quilt gets lost or stolen, you can't take that off. You try and take that off, there's a hole in the back. And you're missing a bunch of quilting. Unfortunately, not everyone's as awesome and amazing as us and honest, and quilts get lost or stolen and people take the labels off, and then quilt never gets home back to who it belongs to. No guarantee it'll still get home, but incentivized by the fact that you can't take the label off. So Twice the Fun is just one of those fast makes. You'll see as I go through the quilts, some of them have specific purposes, like the Tummy Time one or the Family Trio, and some of them are just more cute baby quilts or how to design feature like being fast. I started designing these when I was pregnant with Nate, who is 2.5. So this book's been like 3 years in the making. And then I didn't start making the quilts till after he was born. And so some of them modified or changed or came to mind after he was born based off of a need. So like the Tummy Time one didn't happen till after he was born. But this one I had in my head for a while, and this was the right place to put that. And this one is once in on the fun and is doing some major kicking. Not your time right now. It's their time, but that's okay. I gotcha. The next quilt in the book is one of the ones on the front cover, which is called Rookie of the Year. And I have 2 to show you. So this is the one that's on the front cover, and this one's round. And this quilt existed in a different format, but it wasn't round before Nate was born. But after Nate was born, I figured out that it needed to be round, and this is why. This quilt is specifically designed to be used when a kid is in a stroller. If you've ever pushed a kid in a stroller, if they get chilly and you put a blanket on them, corners start to fall out of the stroller and get caught under the wheel, or they get dragged along and they get dirt. And like I said, kids will spit up and quilts will become dirty, but we don't need to add to that as the adults just because we're dragging it along the ground. So, round quilt, nothing drags when you're in the stroller. It also makes a really good small Tummy Time mat. It's significantly smaller than the Tummy Time All-Star, so it's a great one. It can fold up small and pack in a diaper bag. So if you're headed to grandma's or you're taking baby with you to a big sibling play date or something, this is a really good one that can go with you. I use the splatter here and 2 different Konas as the points, and I specifically went dark on the outside, so if it does drag, we don't expect it to, but if it does, hopefully it doesn't destroy the quilt, because I know this is meant for outside use in my brain. This is going to be used at the park as the tummy time mat. This is going to be used in the stroller. So I think about the use when I pick the colors. Why make our lives harder for ourselves than we need to? And this is actually, I think, the first quilt that was finished for the book. So this was the first sample of Rookie of the Year. This is made from Ann Kelly's fabrics, her flannel of Pen Pals and Remix, and this was Nate's. And so there's a lot of pictures of Nate on this when he was super, super tiny. And again, black on the outside so that, and even the back, so that if it gets dirty and I don't get the stain completely out, hopefully you can't see. Binding a circle is not that hard. You need to use bias binding. I go over that in the book. If you are super intimidated by this circle and you're like, I like that quilt, but I'm not there, there are directions on how to finish it as a hexagon. So have no fear. I've tried to think of everything or mostly everything so that, you know, if you're like, I really like that, it's so great, but I try to consider those things. And these are 8.5-inch diamonds. This is the largest diamond that you can get from the Super Sidekick Ruler. And it's all, so this is a small scale print, but this is a great opportunity to fussy cut a large scale print. If you've been hoarding a Tula owl or a frog or some Anna Maria print or anything that's like super large scale, this is really a good opportunity to be able to fussy cut that and feature it. And I would be comfortable featuring pretty much anything in the middle and just generally going dark on the outside. Doesn't mean you have to. You could go lighter on the outside if that's what you want, but I would suggest darker. So that is Rookie of the Year. Lots of names to remember. This is Rookie of the Year. And so there's the flannel original sample, and then this is the one that's on the front cover of the book. Okay. And then the next one is called Twinkle Twinkle, aka Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and which is currently one of my son's favorite songs, and he likes to sing it to baby every night. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is just a fun baby quilt. It's bigger than the Twice the Fawn, which is the super fast one, but it's not too big. And this one is great for referencing when singing the song. It's also just a good place to put a lot of fun color. The stars are made from the half triangles in the ruler. And to give you a comparison, so I've got this one that's got, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, bright color. The Konas are all listed in the book. I also have a version for you that is kind of the opposite. So this goes back to that whole baby seeing contrast in the beginning. So this one was made from some recent black and whites and some hoarded in my stash that I've been like collecting from quilt shops over the years. I feel like many quilt shop I've been to has a really solid, it's funny I say solid, but not complete, it's not solid, decent selection of some good black and white prints. And I often just buy fat quarters when I visit shops. And this uses less than fat quarters, so it was a perfect opportunity to use up some of those black and white. And, you know, you see I've got words, I've got bears, I've got triangles, I've got dots, lots of fun things. And looks like a completely different quilt in black and white than it does in the color version. And speaking of fat quarters and fat eighths and everything, pretty sure this one's fat eighths. Rachel couldn't confirm that. And all of the projects in the book, or many of them, are fat eighths, fat quarters. I tried to make the fabric requirements things that you might have in your stash, things that you frequently purchase. So that is Twinkle Twinkle. We got the black and white one, and we have the color one. The next quilt is going to be familiar to some of you. This is Infinity Stones, which was a bonus last year to Journey to Nebula participants, and a lot of people discovered it after that. And so the only way to get this pattern is the book. I decided that we would put it in the book because it fit. It's made with the Super Sidekick Ruler. It's very baby appropriate. But it's not going to be for sale as a standalone pattern, so it's in the book. So Infinity Stones is not a hard quilt to make, but it's harder. So we're moving up our skill set, as I said, as we work our way through the quilts. So this one you strip set, and you can do it by rainbow like this one, or I'll show you another one that's not rainbow, and make these big stars. And there are directions in the book to finish infinity stones like this, which is a hexagon, or there's directions to finish it as a square. So I will show you the square option. I'm gonna grab it. And the square option shows you a non-rainbow version. This is one that I've made for my baby, for my little one. So this goes along with the ocean theme. So this is all Zuma. And I'm holding it sideways. This is all Zuma. And this one finishes as a square. So whether you want to finish it as a hexagon or a square, you have options. This one is kind of like an in-between size. It's bigger than the tummy time mat, but it's still smaller than the beach quilt. It's kind of a perfect size for 2 or 3 kids to be hanging out on at the park, or maybe 1 kid and an adult and have a little snack. It also works well as a good couch size quilt for adult and children alike. So the purple one was custom quilted. I've posted a lot of pictures of that one previously. This one I had her do a panto on. Again, Teresa did all the quilting for this book, and super happy with how this one turned out. Need to get it washed so that it's ready to go for baby. So let's see, are there any questions I've been missing in the color guide? Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I try to write things how I would like to read them, and so that's something that I've often wanted. So that is why I gave it to you. So that is Infinity Stones. And then this next quilt, nobody has seen yet, really. And this one is called Gradient. So again, building on our skills. It looks hard. It's not necessarily hard, it's just harder. So Gradient, we're gonna make these diamond blocks, and these diamond blocks are composed with triangles and diamonds from some background and feature fabric. And these are actually the same colors as this, Color Wheel. I tried to make them a little different, and every time I just kept coming back to the same colors. It just worked really well in both of them. So sometimes when something works well, it's supposed to be that way, so why fight it? So they're actually the same. So if you're interested in making both, you can just buy more of the same fabrics. And I suggest for this one a solid or a low scale print. This is a Robert Kaufman quilter's linen. So it's got like a real subtle texture to it when you look at it up close, but you guys probably just see it as a gray from there. And it's just a bunch of diamond blocks put together into a hexagon. And this one is slightly smaller than Color Wheel, but not significantly. This is another great one for picnic or the park, you know, family sized or on the couch. As I said, it's quilts for baby and beyond. So I wanted these to be things that you could feel good about making for a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old, or giving to someone who's a newborn and knowing that they're going to use it for more than 6 months or a year. You know, we quilters, all of us, pour our love and our heart and our soul, as well as our time and our money, into these things. We want them used for more than a hot minute. So I created a variety of sizes for that reason. So this is Gradient, and this one has a nice loopy panto on it that Teresa did. I'll give you guys some more view, and I will continue to be posting more photos of these on Instagram and on Facebook, and you'll start to see more pop up here and there. So if you didn't get a good look at any of them today, don't worry, I will be sharing more photos of all of them before the book comes out. Then now we are on to the last quilt of the book, which I will take a pause for a moment. This is, well, my Tummy Time is one of my favorites for the picture of Nate. This quilt specifically is my favorite quilt in the book. This quilt was one of the main catalysts for the book, and I've already shared it, the one version, but it's called Watch Me Grow. And I, as a human, have always enjoyed watching pictures of babies grow and thought about that long before my son was born, how would I take his pictures? There's people who stick them in a pizza box and have one slice of pizza and they go all the way up to 12 slices of pizza. There's so many possibilities. And I took pictures of my son on chopsticks monthly, which is another pattern of mine, but I also took many pictures of him on this quilt, which I recently shared. And I specifically designed this quilt to have strong, bold rows of color to make comparison easy as the child grows. So Watch Me Grow has these 8 rows of color, contrasted with some low contrast or low volume, background that is pieced. There's made of different triangles. Sometimes you can notice more than others. But the idea behind this is, one day his head was on the orange and his feet were on the light blue. And then all of a sudden his feet are on the dark blue and his head's on the dark orange. And then his feet are making it all the way down to the purple. And by having those rows, you really can compare their growth, because babies are like little weeds. Great, awesome weeds, but they grow fast, especially in their early first couple of months, and when they're young, they grow really fast, and it's nice to have something to show that growth and comparison. So this is the Watch Me Grow that I've already shown on social media and is on the cover of the book. And some people have already asked, when you look at the pictures, I kind of went increments, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, but there's 7 in there. And the answer is I just happened to take that picture at 7, and I, for some reason, didn't use this quilt every month, but I used his other one, and 7 is his favorite number, which is why that picture made it in the book, because it's just ironic that I happen to have a 7, and that is my son's current favorite number. Everything's about 7. So this is Watch Me Grow, and I have a brand new one that I haven't shown to anyone, which is for this little Bruin nugget here. And one thing I did was I showed on Instagram a while ago a bunch of Tula low volume creams and whites, and this is why I was cutting those. So this is Watch Me Grow for my baby, and this is digging deep into my stash. So this is Saltwater, Zuma, Prince Charming, Spirit Animal, Saltwater, Prince Charming, Neptune, Birds and the Bees, and then there's even more collections in the whites. I think I totaled it, it's like 18 collections, and she's had like 30, 40, something like that now. So I treasure this, and I also decided to put Minky on the back. That is something I love to do on kids' quilts, because they love the softness. So this Watch Me Grow, you will start to hopefully see a lot soon, if baby is cooperative for monthly pictures as much as their big brother Nate is. So this Watch Me Grow, and then you'll notice in the book and on social media, I generally have numbers, and those are from my alphabet soup book, which many of you may already be familiar with. So, there's the first picture of baby right when they're born, and then when they're 1 month old, and then when they're 2 months old. And then if your child ends up being anything like my Nady, he loves these. So this is actually a new set I'm making for baby, because I have a feeling Nady's not going to want to give his set up, because he regularly plays with these, and he lines them up and counts the numbers, and he makes new numbers. He takes the 1 and the 7 and makes 17. And so these have a long shelf life of things they can be. When I designed them, I had no idea kids would potentially be using them for playing, but he absolutely loves to do that. So that's why we're in his upstairs playroom. So these are legit just on the floor, because he plays with them all the time. So that is the quilts in the book. For those who joined late, we're going to be posting the recording, but here's the book cover again, Quilts for Baby and Beyond. And then everything is made with the Super Sidekick Ruler. So one ruler for all of the projects in the book. And many of you already have this, and if you don't, ask for it at your local quilt shop. It's super versatile. There's definitely over 10 patterns, 15 something. They're all listed on my blog, that make this, that you can use this ruler with. So I like to design things that you can use more than one time. So there's the book, and there's this. Are the numbers in the book? The numbers are in the alphabet soup book. Someone asked, what numbers do I recommend making? So I made for Nate 1 through 12. I actually made 11 and 12 as their own, like 10, 11, and 12. And I don't know what I thought of when I was going to stop, per se. I guess I had assumed I would go till 12. Nate loves his pictures, and as long as he's a willing participant, I will continue to take pictures of him. So I've used the single numbers to do 13, 14, everything up until his most recent picture, which was 31 months. And I recently thought about this, that in May he's going to be 33, and I only have 1 3. And I haven't quilted the 3 for baby yet. So I might make another 3, find another 3, I'll figure it out. But, you know, some kids love these milestone pictures and some don't. I am all for continuing to do this as long as he is willing and a willing participant, and he seems to love it and enjoy it. You know, I'm sure part of that is the fact that he's my son and he has been exposed to quilts his whole life. He loves quilts. Whenever I have them hanging anywhere, if they're a new one, he points out that they're new. He loves to tell me the colors. He loves to come in my studio and see me working on them. I look forward to the day when he's a little bit older and can help pick fabric for his first quilt that he gets to pick. He does, if you saw, there was like a little Insta story. He calls this his book because his picture's everywhere, so he thinks it's his. And I'm pretty sure he'll take it to like show and tell at school one day, which will be fantastic. So I am up close. So any questions you have, now would be the time and I can answer those. What fabric are the numbers? So the ones for Nate are Ann Kelly Remix and solid Kona white, some basics. I'm not sure if those 2 prints are specifically around anymore. And then the numbers for the new baby are Neptune, that I've been hoarding in my stash for a long time, along with the background is Tula's Cream Fairy Dust. I find that Cream Fairy Dust forever useful in so many things. Good luck. Yes, and I will, so I'm officially going on maternity leave, basically as soon as we're done filming this. Have no fear, Rachel will be around and to answer your questions and things, and I'm sure no one can stop me from hopping on social media here and there to pop in and say hi, and there will be plenty of pictures of baby once baby arrives. Thank you for the color guide. Yes, you guys all seem to be in love with that color guide. For those who joined late, let me show you another sneak peek of the color guide. So this is my proof of the book, so it's like super thick. Yours will be normal. So I put in here a Kona color guide that lists by quilt which colors I used and gives you little swatches. So you can take this right into your quilt shop, and if they haven't made a kit, hopefully a bunch will make kits, but if they haven't made a kit, you can pick them out, and if they're missing one or something, you can help figure out a substitute because I gave you a little swatch of what they are. So you have a complete guide to all of the Kona fabrics I used in the quilts samples. Best of luck with baby. Thank you, yes. Let's see, what else do we got? Price for the book. The suggested retail price is $32. Baby is due mid-April, but I feel like they're trying to make a break for it, so we'll see. Hopefully we make it to mid-April, or at least April. The book is coming out May 5th. When you stand up again, can you flip up the color wheel to show the backing? Yes, I can do that in a moment. I will tell you a lot of these just have different random wide backs. The ruler, can't wait for the book. Thank you for your best wishes. I appreciate you guys. You know, I started this as a single person, and then I met my husband and got married, and then I had a baby. And for a long time, I didn't do a lot of quilting, and all my pictures were just Nate, and I super appreciate you guys sticking by me through the ups, the downs of Jaybird. This is my 11th year, which is 12th year? 12th year. Yeah, we're going into our 12th year. Wow. And I couldn't do this without you. You know, this is my job. I was able to quit my job because of all of you. And I thank you immensely for all of that. You guys are fantastic. I have the best fans and supporters in the world. So the backing on color wheel is the black and white splatter. Like I said earlier, I mentioned I use the splatter a lot. I use the white on the back of this one. I really like the 108-inch wide backs that Robert Kaufman, Free Spirit, and many of the other companies make. And when I do that, I usually add a label like this, a little tag, as opposed to piecing my label in. But I always make sure to label my quilts. I want everybody to know who put in all that amazing effort. So I'm just gonna see if there's any more questions, and then let you guys go for the day. And if you have additional questions when you're watching the recording, or if we missed them, please just ask them and we will answer them in the comments. Don't know how you find the time. I find the time because I have a really supportive team around me. I have Rachel, who is in Philadelphia, doing all the logistics. I have my mom, who has Nate right now. If you're still watching, hi Nate, mommy loves you. I have a super awesome, supportive husband, and I have a really good team of people around me. I couldn't do this alone. This is legit a family affair. So recap, Quilts for Baby and Beyond, available on May 5th. You can pre-order it now from many shops. I will not be selling it directly. I rely on quilt shops. They are the lifeblood of this industry. So please reach out to your local quilt shop and ask them to order you a copy, or order it from your favorite online shop. The paint splatter print is called Splatter from Robert Kaufman, and it is still available in the black, the white, the grayscale, and some that I didn't even use. So yes, it's still around. Can I hold up one of the numbers again? Sure. And so thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to miss all of you on our daily interactions, because I will be MIA with the little one for a while, but I will be back, and I appreciate all your support. When I use Minky, do I use batting? Yes, I do use batting. I know some people don't, personal preference. I tend to use warm and natural, or warm and white in almost all my quilts because I'm allergic to wool and I like the feel of cotton combination. And I still put batting in my Minky quilts. It just makes them nice and thick and super warm and fuzzy. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, Nate got to wave at mommy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. And we'll let you know when baby gets here. Hopefully not too soon. And if you have questions, like I said, please ask them. And thank you again for your support. I hope you enjoy making the quilts in Quilts for Baby and Beyond as much as I enjoy designing them. You know, comes from the heart, and from a mom who figured out what she needed to have with her baby and toddler. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy designing them and making them. So have a great day.